Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to make this crop top with the beautiful bell sleeve attached to it. So if this is what you are looking out for, please stay tuned as we get right into the video. So guys, I have two clothes on fold, both for my front and my back piece, since this clothes will now have a dart and then this clothes will now have a zipper. So then after that I'll go ahead to measure my back measurement or my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2, so I have 7 there. Then I'll go ahead to locate my bust point, which is on 10. Then after locating my bust point, I'll locate my waist on 16, and then the length of this crop top is 20 inches. Thereafter I'm gonna head to add 1.5 inches seam allowance. So after doing this, now we want to make sure we connect these lines together with our ruler. Keep in mind guys that I'm cutting both the front and the back panel together, since this cloth will now have a zipper and will now have a dart as well. So after this I'll go ahead to measure my neck. So the neck of this cloth I'm going to be working with is 3 inches. That's the wideness of this. Then the depth of this is 3.5. Now I want our hair to be able to pass through this easily because we're not going to be using a zipper on this. Then after I use my French cuff to connect this together. If you don't have a French cuff, please go ahead and use your hand to sketch this. Right, so this is our neck now. Then from this our shoulder line, I'll go ahead to drop my shoulder slope by 1 inch and connect like this. Sorry guys, the camera was blocking. Then after this, I'll go ahead to measure my armhole depth. So the armhole, to get the depth of your armhole, it is usually your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch, or you go up by 2 inches above your bust line. So for this I'm going to be using 8 inches. After calculating, then going up by 2, it still gave me the same, so I'm going to be using 8 inches for this. Then I'll connect this like this, which will serve as my chest line now. Now connect this point to my shoulder slope. Now after doing this, I'll go ahead now to extend this line a bit. Then I'll go ahead to measure a half of what I have from my shoulder slope to this chest line. I'll go ahead and measure half of what I have. Now we'll dot on that point. Then from that point we're going to be going in by half an inch in order for us to give this armhole a curve. So from the shoulder slope I'll connect it to this point. Then I'll go ahead to use my curve again to connect this other line to my chest line, which will serve as my armhole curve. So this is how it looks after you are done with that. Now I want to go ahead now and input our bust measurements, circumference of our bust. Keep in mind that this cloth is on a fold and I'm cutting both for front and back together. So the bust circumference I'm working with is 38 divided by 4, which will give me 9.5. Then I'll go ahead to add 1 inch allowance for the seam, then 1 inch to make this cloth free, that is for ease, in order for us to wear this cloth comfortably. Then I'll go ahead and mark that same measurement I use for my bust, which is 9.5, on my waistline as well, because I don't want this to be too tight and I will not be able to wear it. So I marked 9 before, so I decided to add half an inch to it to make it the same measurement as my bust circumference. Now I'll go ahead and connect this together with my ruler to the hem of this cloth. As you can see, so this is what you're going to have. Then you go ahead to extend your chest line now for you to connect your armhole. So join this together, and then also for the other part, for the hem, you want to go ahead and join this together as well. So this is what you have after you are done with this. Like I said, this cloth will not have a dart since it is a free crop top. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. Please don't mind my scissors. I couldn't find the sharp ones. So now I've gone ahead to use my bias to tape the neck of this. So I used the Ankara fabric as the bias because I didn't want this to have another color showing inside. So this is how I look after I'm done with that. Now we're working on the sleeve. So I'm just going to use my free hand to sketch this out. Please check my tutorial on how to draft the bodice sleeve for beginner. Then after I've marked out what I have as my handhole, then from this point, I'm going to go ahead to connect this slightly to the hem of this cloth. So the length of this sleeve is 26 inches plus my seam allowance and my hem allowance rather. So what I marked up there is the circumference of my armhole divided by 2. So I'm going to go ahead now to connect this to the hem of this. Now after connecting this, we want to make sure we cut out the excess on this. So keep in mind that I did not use any allowance on the other side, like it is just the cloth I have. It is only on the upper part I have clothes that I'm going to cut off. So I went ahead to slant it from my armhole points down to the hem, like this. Also for the sleeve, I have 2 unfolds, so I'm cutting together both the right hand side and the left hand at a time. And then the circumference of this sleeve is around 12 inches, depending on how wide you want your sleeve to be. So I'm going to go ahead to cut this out gently. As you can see, I didn't start my cutting from the bottom part since I have no clothes, no excess clothes there. So I'm just going to cut along the parts where I have excess. Please don't mind my scissors again, guys. So after we are done cutting, we are going to go ahead now to work on the bell illusion on this sleeve. So we want to define our bell illusion on this after we are done cutting. So guys, let's work on that now. So this is how our sleeve looks like after we are done cutting off the excess. Now on the block part of the sleeve, you want to go up by 2.5. Depending on how you want this to be, but 2.5 should be the highest you can go up in order to give this sleeve a nice definition. So now we're going to go ahead and use our cuff to connect this slightly again, as you can see, to the hem of the other part of the sleeve, like this. Please take note of this, it is really important here. So this is what we really define our sleeve to give it that bell illusion. So now we'll go ahead and cut this off, and that will be all for our sleeve. Please guys, don't forget to add allowance to this sleeve. Right, so you can see that our sleeve already have that bell illusion, as you can see. So this is how it looks like after we are done cutting it. You can see it looks so good already even without sewing. So now we'll take this to the sewing machine and work on. Then for this is our front and our back piece. As you can see, the shoulder is intact already. So now we'll go ahead and fix the sleeve on it. I'll go ahead to notch the center of this sleeve. As you can see, like this. So make sure this center you have notched is exactly on your shoulder line. Right side facing right side, and go ahead and sew together. Make sure the right side is facing the right side like this. On the upper part. Then you sew from one part first, then you go ahead and sew from the other part. Just do the same for the two sides.